Look at the state.
Coach, if you'll just give us a couple of thoughts on the second game with Georgia Tech, and then we'll open it up for questions.
You're just standing there?
I just got a little camera.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
If I don't bother
It's
you.
a little close, but that's all right.
I know.
No, I'm good. You're not that handsome.
Yeah.
You know, anxious to see how our guys bounce back. Obviously, really quick turnaround, getting back late from North Carolina. Thought the guys were good yesterday, though, so we didn't do a lot physically, but thought their spirits were good. That'll be critical. And, you know, in watching Georgia Tech, I thought they played exceptionally well at Virginia Tech. Probably should have won the game. And late mistake by a guy, or they would have won the game. I thought they moved the ball better and seemed to have just good freedom and pace in their offense. So we'll see. Questions?
How are they different without Rice and their Williams? I think they announced he's not going to play tomorrow.
Just, you know, I don't know. I think they I thought they moved the ball well. I thought they got the ball inside a little bit more maybe than some other times. Guys seemed very confident and you know, played with good poise and so you know, I just think that you know, he's certainly a guy who can step up and make big shots like he did at the end of our game here. But you know, Brandon Reed and Jason Morris, those guys probably going to get more opportunities. Mufon Udofi get a few more shots. I just think like Holsey and Miller, those guys inside, everybody gets a few more touches now. And you know, I don't know if maybe they don't have a guy to go to at the end of a game. I don't know. They didn't seem to have that problem against Virginia Tech. I think it's more just by committee, kind of like the rest of us. And I thought they played very well.
You mentioned something after the game about either effort or energy or something you thought was reasonable, but it could have been better. I guess the thing is, how do you account for that when you're playing that team in that kind of situation?
You know, it's tougher. I was probably a little hard on our guys after the game in terms of after watching the film. I thought we did more better things than I thought we did. You know, we had it 47-41 with 10 minutes to go and got 5 stops in a row, and we didn't score. And I was, you know, we were frustrated because, first of all, it's hard to stop North Carolina 5 times in a row. And when you do it at a critical juncture of the game like we did, and then you have a team that's then in a position to go make a run to the end of the game, and we don't do it, and the game gets away from us, you know, you don't leave with a very good taste in your mouth. And we should have finished the game better. We didn't. But to be honest, and after watching the film for the first 30 to 32 minutes, our guys, you know, we played pretty well. Not great. We didn't make a lot of shots. We didn't. I mean, there were some things we could have done better, but we were in a position against a good team on their court to make the game close and give ourselves a chance. You know, what you saw in the last 8 minutes is what can happen when you're not really locked in. When they get on a roll, I mean, they can get away from you in a hurry, and that's, you know, that's probably part of what happened. And so after watching the film, I thought our guys competed probably a little better than I thought after the game. Maybe not great at the end.
Was that, would you attribute that to, you know, the stage they're on, stage fright, that kind of thing?
You know, I don't know. You're always worried about that. I think some of our freshmen, you know, I think they were a little wide-eyed there a little bit just initially. I thought Devin Coleman was that way a little early, and you know, that's probably to be expected. And you're playing in front of 21,000, and it's, you know, there's a lot of things there that are different than a lot of places. And you know, they're the kind of team too that your mistakes are magnified because they can, you know, you pay for your mistakes more against them. So, but I don't know that it was just that. You know, I think our older guys were fine. our older guys were fine, and obviously we got out to a 5-0 lead.
Milt's three-point percentage has gone up every year. He's shooting 42% from three in conference play. Are you seeing anything different from a mechanics standpoint, a confidence standpoint?
I think it's more confidence and comfort than anything else. You know, it's something that he needs to be able to do well, especially next year probably. You know, he's the kind of guy, he can go right out here and make 8 in a row, you know, on a great day, good day, but more often than you think. Like, he's a pretty good shooter, and I think confidence and comfort and have kept him from maybe being as consistent as we would like him to be, and from feeling as comfortable as he needs to be to make those kind of shots. He needs to take some of those kinds of shots. When he has an open 3-point shot and it's in rhythm, he needs to shoot it every time. And because that's one of the things that, you know, got him so highly rated, and people think of as you see a guy with his size who can do that. And you know what? I know he did that in high school. That's probably why everybody rated him so high. All of a sudden there's a 6'9" guy that's making threes. There aren't a lot of those guys around. That's one of the things that he can do, and he can do that better than some of the other things around the basket sometimes. Now he's working to get better at both, and you know, needs to be able to do both to be a very good player, to be a consistent scorer. You can't just be one way or the other. But I think a lot of it has to do with his confidence, comfort level, and you know, you would hope that the longer he's here and the more he plays, that continues to go up and he becomes more consistent as a player and as a shooter.
Last time you played these guys, they had like a double-figure rebounding differential. I would think that's a concern maybe as you prepare for this.
Yeah, they're a very good rebounding team. Tremendous defensive rebounding team. They block out, and they have big-bodied guys. They're, you know, Miller and Holsey, I think, are really big guys, physical guys, and they do a very good job rebounding. Brian does a good job of emphasizing that. You know, we didn't shoot the ball very well until the power went off. So I don't, you know, if we need to figure out a way to shut the power off at Phillips Arena sometime in the game. But you know, they do a good job. It's hard to get offensive rebounds against them, and we've got to really make a conscious effort to rebound against them because they're a very good team. They go forward, and again, they have great size inside.
Any benefits of going down there to Phillips tomorrow night and turn around and going back down a week and a half?
You know, I think if guys play well and have a good experience, then maybe there's some benefit a little bit. But most of the other teams in the league are probably doing it too. So, you know, I don't think it's a major advantage. You know, certainly know where to go when the locker room is and some things of that nature. But you know, really, it's like most places. If you go somewhere and have a good experience, you don't feel as bad about going there. If it doesn't work out real well, then you're probably a little cautious. So hopefully we'll play well. Our guys will make shots, feel good about it, and leave there with a good, you know, good feeling about the place. But that's.
You're not gonna like measure the hoop to see what's.
No, we'll take their word for it.
You've, you know, you had the heartbreaking losses. You bounced back pretty strong. Are you almost concerned, having played 30, 32 good minutes against a top 10 team, without any kind of emotional? You know,
I don't think it'll be anything like that. I think it'll just be getting geared back up again. You just got to keep getting geared back up, and you know, you just we've gotten to this rhythm. The hard part, again, like I've said a couple times, is, you know, our guys haven't had like a full day to themselves in a while, like where they just, you know, no school, no basketball, they can do what they want to do. They haven't had that. I don't know how long. It's been a while, and it's been a little bit hard with the Tuesday games. That's one of the negatives of the Tuesday games. If it's Wednesday or Thursday, you got a Sunday to just kind of recharge, and so that's the only thing, is just being able to be charged up all the time. But you know, I would hope our guys are, you know, ready to go. The seniors don't have many games left. The guys on our team, the other guys, need to try to do their best to send these guys out the right way, and you know, the competitor and you should be ready to go all the time. It's not usually the case sometimes, but it should be.
Talking about sending them out the right way, that would include, I would hope, postseason play, but do you think about that you might need to win 3 out of 4
No.
to be NIT? Or
No, we just try to do what we got to do to win the next game and play well, and keep our spirits good and keep our mindset the right way, so guys are excited about playing and competing and putting forth good effort, and trying to tweak 1 or 2 things in our game to make sure that our team's getting better. And you don't talk about that other stuff a whole lot.
Do you anticipate them doing anything different against Andres as he go on with them?
Just, I'm sure they'll, they'll pay more attention to him if they didn't the first part of the game, from the standpoint of, now they're going to, the last 2 days, I'm sure they've watched clips of Andre Young making threes, and, their guys are the ones guarding him. And when your guys are the ones guarding him, sometimes it resonates a little better than when you're showing them clips of other teams in the league or other people guard them and they make shots. It's, your guys who need to guard them see them getting scored on. Their antennas are up a little bit more. I think it'll just be more of that than it will be different strategy or anything.
With these, you've had some mid-majors, and now here you've coached teams that weren't the ones that people, were feared about as the bully on the block kind of thing. How do you guard against kind of a group think of, we're 500, but we're really not supposed to be any better, that kind of thing? How do you do that complacency?
How do you guard it? Just, I think you just, I'm pretty plain spoken with our guys. I don't try to, I'm not too flowery when, sometimes they want me to be. I also tell them, when I think they do well, I tell them that. When when I'm worried about something, I'll tell them that. When I don't like their body language, when I don't like what I see, when I'm upset with what I've seen in the first half, if there's, I try to be honest with our guys as much as possible. And, whether it's, some sort of pregame talk about the team and what we're trying to do and things of that nature, it's just try to speak to them in a way that, I don't try to build everybody up to make them insurmountable, but at the same time, we certainly try to tell our guys what they need to do to be successful in the games. And then when their play is being evaluated, again, I think honesty is the best policy. I think you're better. Kids appreciate it. They don't always like what you tell them, but they probably believe it a lot more than they want to sometimes. And so I just think you just talk to them about it. That's right. Great coaching phrase, the tape never lies.
Is Milt ideally a stretch 4? Is he a 3? What?
No, he's a stretch 4. I mean, he's more of a guy that's, needs to guard bigger guys, can guard bigger guys, can guard different size guys. And, he has the versatility offensively to be able to move in and out. I think, I've said this before, that I think his agility and mobility we value that. His ability to move, for a guy his size, his ability to move around the court helps our offense. He actually, like right now, he moves a lot better than Bernard does. Some of it's just Bernard not knowing what to do all the time, but Milt has a good pace about him. He and Devin Booker are the same size, but within the half-court offense, there's a difference in their mobility and how much they move around. Devin's obviously physically stronger, bigger and stronger, and does more things around the basket. And if you could combine the two guys, they'd be phenomenal. But they both have strengths, and they both have other things they need to work on. And one of Milt's strengths is his ability to move around the court, and that allows him to get open some for shots because he is moving. He's not just standing there in a one spot, or he separates after a screen and creates space for himself to play out of. And Henson has that kind of mobility, agility for North Carolina. He's a guy that really is, even though he's 7 feet tall or 6'11" or whatever he is, 6'10", his mobility is hard to deal with.
Any other questions for Coach Brownell today? Okay.
Thank y'all.
Coming in.